match area. We got No E on the top playing Esper Goryos, with those look exactly like the mana counters.
Yes.
On the sleeves. We got Peter on the bottom. Little fist bump there. Let's get started. Love the respect between players. Love the cowboy hat there too on Peter. Looking good. But just a Godless Shrine tapped and a modest start for Esper Goryo's player.
And I will say Esper Goryo should be favored in this. This was another one of those decks that just kind of goes over the top. And it all comes down to how can Boros interact with the graveyard. Almost always those 2 stocked Thraben Charms are going to be really nice. The 2 Blood Moons are actually quite good against Goryos. Like, it's still pretty tough to beat. You have some purges and stuff like that in the sideboard most of the time, but that can really get you. And then in the sideboard, Jim, I see 2 surgical extractions.
Ooh.
So right now, Peter came to really game against this Goryo strategy.
Well, a turn 1 Ragavan's got to be what the doctor ordered, threatening a turn 2 Blood Moon. And back No E's way, and we're going to see what turn 2 has in store. Psychic Frog is quite powerful.
Yeah, Frog is just really tough to deal with from Peter because, well, it really comes down to how many, like, Solitudes or Static Prisons do you have. And, you know, that being said, I just saw Solitude on my screen and thought, like, oh, how many Solitudes does Boros Energy have? Normally 0.
Right.
So seeing 2 in the main deck here from Peter is actually not very stock.
Yeah, and seeing the evolution is really, really cool. You know, of seeing, like, all right, well, Boros didn't do so well. It's still a really good deck. What can we do to, shore it up? Let's adapt to this new metagame. Put
some spice in there.
All right, well, there's your Frog. See a basic island, maybe a little respect for Blood Moon early on.
And I mean, hey, the Solitude would look excellent right now. Static Prison is a card that very largely got cut, so that's really the only clean answer, and oh my goodness.
Hello.
And I was going to say, is there any reason to doing this at Noe's turn?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So probably wanted to wait because you get more information, but hey, whatever.
Listen, that Frog is out of here.
That Frog's gone, but Frog did get to ditch a little Atraxa friend.
All right, so some value on the way out. Draw for Peter here. Blood Moon will be pretty clutch. You know, there is one of each basic in this Esper deck, but
they're not in play.
Can't see much of blue. Never mind.
One Solitude deserves another.
All right, so Ragavan's gone. Prismatic Ending has gone out of hand from Noe. And again, kind of all set up here. No Thraben Charm at the ready. So if we see a Goryos, could have a fast game 1 here.
If Noe has Solitude for the Ragavan, a Frog on 2 to pitch Atraxa and Goryos, like, come on. Just honestly give Noe the RC trophy at that point, because that would be the stone cold nuts.
No trophy ceremony just yet. Just a Flood Strand and a pass. And here's a Johnny and a little cat buddy getting in for 3. I like those 2. Those sleeves are really getting me. Got blue in the pool up in Noe's hand.
And then you have the dinosaur island in play. I like it.
Yep. All right, so what's the follow-up here from Peter?
Yeah, let's see. 3 mana available. Is it Blood Moon time? Blood Moon would be a lot worse now. But to be fair, even just shutting off black mana would still be good enough.
Yes. So we'll see if Noe wants to get a Plains and continue to play around Blood Moon. Again, open deck was the big deal here. Gonna take a look.
Yeah, and it's almost better for Peter, even if he never draws Blood Moon, the fact that now, Noe might just untap, not cast anything, and normally you'd want to get a Surveil land, try to find Goryos, and just the presence of the card that I think I can speak for everyone, the card we all hate losing to the most, Blood Moon just won't be as impactful.
Yeah, it's always a major shift when you see a player lose to Blood Moon. The next game they play, they are hell-bent on getting as many basics in play as possible.
Sometimes to their own detriment.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so we see a draw. No Surveil there, just a draw.
So if that card was just an Atraxa or something, you feel pretty bad.
All right, well, here's a Surveil. Goodbye, Ephemerate.
So the draw was probably a Surveil land, which maybe you didn't want to draw too. So Blood Moon just doing some damage.
All right, so what looked like a pretty good start for Noe is starting to putter out a little bit, but also puttering out a bit on Peter's side too. A Johnny and the Cap by themselves, they are a great tool for this deck, but not a singular threat. It's only 3 damage a turn, so just ship it in. All right, so shuffling up for Noe here. And interested to see what Peter's got in store for us.
Yeah, this is where you really want to put a Flage into the yard. Surveil that one there.
So much value in these surveillance. Oh, my God. Oh, all right.
He's done it. Now,
welcome to the 8-0 table, Peter.
Yeah. Both players look like they've been playing well. They know their decks, and maybe they're getting a little luck. Hey, to be fair, you get to 8-0, you get to 9-0. Not only are you playing well, you're getting lucky at points. Things are going right for you.
Luck is preparation meets opportunity.
Wow. Let me know when your next TED Talk is. I'll come.
Will do. I make Hallmark cards, too.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yep. I'm lying.
Okay, Mr. Beads.
All right. What is this? This is
Ranger Captain.
Okay. Going to go search for a 1-drop. And the old Capitan can shut down spells for a turn. That's super effective here, right?
Yeah, and I mean, hey, it gets Guide of Souls or it gets Oscillate Pride. You know, I mean, that stuff is really, really nice. And it's one of those cards, or Ragavan, why not? And it's one of those cards that's really good against combo decks. Hey, could it even be okay against No E if you go to Goryo's Vengeance back in Atraxa, you pop that into response, at least it's not getting ephemerated back. That's not great, don't get me wrong, but...
All right, so we got a shock on the Watery Grave, certainly signifying something.
Solitude.
Or perhaps a hard cast Solitude. Only 5 mana spell in the deck. Oh, or can be cast anywhere. Riddler.
Even better, to be honest. Riddler would be drawing 2. I think we only have 2 cards in hand, so...
I'm just going to say go. So
unlucky.
Riddler doesn't have flash. It's not a very good card.
5 mana, nothing to do. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, misclick on the shock land.
Yeah. Oh, no, Johnny, don't do it.
All right, so coming in here, I got to assume Peter has a kill spell at the ready.
What else could it be for 5 mana, right?
Wow. Just taking it. Okay. Now what is going on?
I could see a Faithful Mending, but I think you would want to do that proactively, so I don't know.
All right. Going to cast that Ragavan, noting that there was no dash.
Yeah.
Leaving some mana up on Peter's side. End step, 5 mana. There's the Solitude. Okay. All right, so very conservative line with the Solitude. Could have tried to play it in combat and go for blocks. Going to be played extra safe here. Solitude is going after the, looks like the Ranger Captain. Got to think about that for a bit.
I don't know about you, Jim, but I could not have resisted trying to eat that Ajani in combat. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Peter hasn't been playing anything, so what else would be in hand? But still.
Yeah, it's definitely tempting.
I guess the one thing is maybe you're not trying to get more cards in the yard for Flage. Then you can go post-combat, land 4, Flage the Solitude. But still, I wouldn't have it in me to not try to go for it there.
All right, and goes for the Ranger Captain, not the Ragavan, not the Ajani. So you saw a pause there from Peter, maybe as a way to kill it, wants to not allow Ephemerate to be a thing, but wants to make a pass back. Breeding Bull, and completing the Atraxa hardcast mana, so we'll have more land for that. Which is super relevant in these grindy matchups.
It very much is. So, yeah, I think if Peter had a way to remove Solitude, though, maybe would have tried even if there was an Ephemerate, because that would be the 6th card in the yard where if you draw land 4, Arena Flage is coming.
All right, so Ragavan and Cat get in. We see Solitude. We see an Ephemerate. Peter says, no way, no how. 3-band Charm, you're out of here. All right, so that's dead.
Solid patience there from Peter.
Yep, love to see that.
And now, I mean, this on cue is when you draw Goryo's Vengeance, right? After the Thraven Charm is now gone.
Is that how it works?
I think it is.
You bait it out. There's Osla Pride. Big draw for Noe coming.
There's some top decks you can sense, and I sense it's there. After this Riddler, of course.
I mean, that's 2 looks, right?
Yeah.
All right, so entering the Warp Zone. It's not bad when your top deck's Riddler. 2 more cards coming.
Peter's like, I'm glad that's not a black land you're tapping, but I think this is Noe recognizing, can I afford to hard cast the Riddler? And I think the answer is no.
I agree.
Warp it. Because look at that Flage in the yard. I mean, any land, you're dead. Any spell, you're dead. So.
Yep, here we go. Warp Zone, draw 2 cards.
Is it time for the Vengeance?
Looks like
Jim,
it might be.
I just felt it, Jim. I felt it from the beginning.
Here it. Oh, no.
Dang it.
Let's try again.
That's 3 more cards.
Man, this card's wild. The hallmark of a good Magic card is when it's good when you're down, when you're in trouble, and when you're empty-handed or low-handed, that's it. And there's
what
the
did I tell you? What did I tell you, y'all? Sometimes you can just feel it.
Course,
that was so much better than just Goryo's Vengeance.
Corey's feeling it. No E's feeling it. Unfortunately for Peter, Peter's feeling it too. But now there's no mana left over. We do have a land drop for turn, so we can still see Ephemerate, right?
You almost always get a land from it. So if there's Ephemerate, if we have a white source, I mean, GG.
All right, there's the swamp. 5 more cards. Need an untapped white source.
I think I see it. It's right under the force there. Yeah.
All right, yep. Got to fetch shock, though. Got to go to 1.
You're not going to 1. You're attacking to 11 first.
That's true. You go to 1, then attack. I think going to 11 on the edge a little bit.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah.
Just pray your opponent doesn't have gut shot one time. I mean, hey, we might not have another white untapped fetch. Like, sometimes that does happen with this deck. Hollowed Fountains should still be in the deck.
All right, so.
What a turn from No E.
Uh-oh. We taking a swamp here?
We must have. I mean, hey, we did draw 4 extra cards off Riddlers, so
Very fair.
We could easily already have it. But if we don't, I will have to leave this, booth and go have some words.
I'll let him know you're coming.
Yeah.
No E, watch out. All right, so the choices are Swamp, Thoughtseize, Atraxa, Ephemerate.
And, I mean, you can hard cast that Atraxa if this one were to die. So I would assume those other cards there on the right side, one of them contains a Hollowed Fountain or a fetch land.
Okay. Life going up.
Because I do that when I play this deck. This is one of my favorite decks in Modern right now is Goryo, and I always don't pick the fetch lands. There's the Hollowed Fountain. So there was no targets with that fetch land.
All right.
Big game.
Here we go. Ephemerate time on the Atraxa. How about some more cards?
Look at how much this game drastically changed from Noe going for an Ephemerate on a Solitude, which he had to do, to getting blown out there, to having 0 things in hand, or 0 cards in hand, 0 permanents in play, to now having, like, probably discarding to hand side, an Ephemerate on the stack, and 2 Riddlers in the Warp Zone. Is that good?
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Now, that being said, if Solitude was in the window here, I would say we're done. But the one thing that can happen here is if we top deck land 4 from Peter, Hasty Flage. Flage can start by killing Cat Warrior, flip a Johnny, and then Flage gets to attack, and a Johnny gets to activate. I don't know if that's enough, but that's still a lot of damage.
All right, we got 9 life for No E. Atraxa can block for 7.
Yep.
Taking a few more cards here. No more relevant cards without Solitude. The cards that are being taken now are for next turn, assuming there is a next turn.
Yep. So Flage can deal 3 to the cat. A Johnny can negative for 4 damage upstairs, putting No E down to 5. Flage can attack, putting No E down to 2, but then Atraxa gets to connect in combat, and the math doesn't really work out for that,
We haven't seen actually, I guess Discharge, you can't do that also. So, yeah. All right.
And the one thing is, wow, No E would go down to 2 with that line I suggested, and then you can't really block Oscillate Pride because you have to block the Flage. So No E is at an effective 1 if Peter top decks a land, but you'll go from 1 to 8.
All right, so going off of the Warp Zone of the Riddlers. Discarding Atraxa to hand size. We got a full grip for No E, including a Thoughtseize, another Thoughtseize, couple lands, another Goyros, pretty important, so next turn's kind of all rolled up.
Wow, I really think with a land, Peter is 1 damage short after all this, which is absurd.
All right, here's the draw. Basic Plains. And now it's time for Peter to do the math.
Oh, wait a minute. If you can deal 4 with a Johnny, you can deal 4 to Atraxa. Flage can attack and deal the remaining 3 to Atraxa. So that's 0 damage upstairs, but then Flage attacks for 6, Ragavan for 7-8, Oscillate Pride for 9. Oh, no, but you need to kill the cat.
Well,
no.
The Flage is attacking too, right?
Yeah, I actually think we might have Xaxes here if Peter does it right. So let's think. Okay, so Flage is coming back. You are going to kill the cat token. A Johnny flips. Now you're going to have 3 creatures. The cat, you're going to negative on a Johnny. That's going to be 4. You use that 4 damage to aim it at Atraxa. Flage attacks and finishes that off. And then
you have Flage, Ragavan, Pride. That's 9 right there.
Yeah, I think this is Xaxes in favor of Peter. We'll see if this is right.
Pretty convoluted line.
It sure is, but I think it's there.
You know, one factor to mention, is the round 9's a tough round. It is the pressure of the feature match area, the pressure of trying to be 9-0, the fatigue of the entire day.
Oh, I don't know if Peter sees it. Wait. I mean, you're not missing anything with the lands. Kill the cat.
All right. Here comes Flash.
Now, granted, those 2 cards in hand could be Solitude, and then none of this matters, but I think this is 9 damage, baby.
I mean, there's no white cards face. It has to be exactly Solitude and white card. So.
True. Oh, yeah, because we discarded Atraxa. We had a white card,
Right. So, Flash comes in. Where is it pointing at? That is the question.
Has to go at cat.
Okay, got to kill the cat. Now, Johnny going to be real sad about that and not very happy. Sadness will turn to anger.
And hey, when you're in this spot, this is still convoluted no matter what, so it's not even clear to us. I missed it on my first count. But when you're in this moment, you're at maybe their first 8-0 or whatever, you redo the math over and over. Look at Matt Nass when he won the Pro Tour.
Yep.
He is one of the best people with numbers ever. He did the math like 15 times.
All right, so.
Here it is.
Johnny comes in, 4 damage to Atraxa. Noe says, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. How about that whammy? Solitude cleaning this all up, says no way. So Johnny can't count to 4. Flash can't attack.
God.
Wow.
This is why these players are 8-0. They both found the line, but look at what Noe did on that last turn. Found Solitude as well. Noe was hellbent going into that turn, y'all. This is incredible.
Love the patience, too.
Yeah.
All right, now it's going back Noe's way, and Johnny's flip. That's usually a nice win, but not in the face of all of this.
Oh, my God. Yeah, didn't even ephemerate. Still had all these. You can Goryo's Vengeance on defense at some point if you need to protect against this. That one cat should be gone. I don't think these players see the other cat coming into play. Nope, I lied. That's the 1/1 cat coming in from Oslo Pride.
All right.
Incredible game.
You know what? I'm at 16. I would have thought these now.
Yeah.
I see a Johnny number 2 in Season Pyromancer. Gotta take that a Johnny. Goodbye. Oh, never mind. Take the Pyromancer.
I mean, regardless, I think we should all be hyped, as that was a pretty convoluted line there. Peter saw it. Sure, it may have taken a second, but got there. And Noe just had the perfect answer. And, yeah, game of the day for me.
All right. So, Thoughtseize mops up the hand. Peter's down to nothing but the top of the deck and a prayer. Atraxa's in play. Here's a Surveil. And like you're saying, we have this defensive Goros. Even if Peter were to draw some way to deal with this Atraxa, we could see another one coming to block. The Riddlers are still hanging out also. Great spot for Noe. Really awesome game.
Oh, yeah. When the Solitude was on the stack, the game's over. But, it was still an awesome game.
That's not a bad draw.
Sure.
All right, 2-2 draw 2. It's going to start somewhere. Probably going to start there.
7-8. Yeah, we haven't gained life, but we are about to ascend if we have a land drop. But
all right, little faithful or faithless mending. Faithful, right?
Noe has been very faithful this game. Yeah,
you gotta believe.
Yes.
Heart of the cards. All right,
wrong game.
Draw 2. It's any game you want to do it. You should believe.
Okay.
All right, discard Atraxa.
And that makes sense. You're keeping that Goryos no matter what. But, hey, I honestly would have flashed it back, too, because if you hit Gristlebrand, then we're cooking.
Oh, we're not cooking yet? That's the point we're cooking?
Okay, that's when we're we're barbecuing at that point.
That's dessert, all right?
Yeah. I mean, that is when you fully flexed is when you're attacking with both of your 7 power creatures. That's when it's like, have you had enough yet? Okay, draw 7.
All right, so Atraxa is ready to rumble. These Riddlers are still hanging out also, so there's an absolute swath of resources on Noe's side.
Yeah, we're kind of toast here, but man, shout out to Quantum Riddler. What a card.
All right, so main phase flashback. Gains you life. Draw 2, discard 2. Still see that Goryo's face up in hand. Looking for Corey wants a Grizzlebrand. Corey wants to have his cake and eat it too.
I sure do. Mostly I just want to get to the next game to watch even more, action here where it's not completely decided.
All right, we'll still play. Now, those Riddlers are kind of just hanging out.
That's a bad sign. When your opponent has the ability to play a 4/6 flyer, which completely shuts down your battlefield, but they're just like, I don't need it.
All right. Now, Peter does have some fresh cards. Draw 2 fresh ones last turn, Pyromancer, and a card for turn here. Arena of Glory is active.
So the one thing Peter could do here is have double Thraben Charm to be able to Thraben Charm Atraxa and then Thraben Charm the graveyard. But one's already been cast, so it's impossible.
All right, so 2 mana. Goblin Bombardment. It's not too shabby.
It's a good card.
It kind of turns off a lifelink on Atraxa, at least on defense.
Very true.
Nope, Force Negation. Sorry. I didn't forget those Riddlers. I just had something else to do.
Exactly. And now you play the Riddlers when, you only have 1 card in hand. Get that card draw going.
What happens then, Corey?
Then you draw this many cards, Jim. I mean, hey, I got to say, looking at the top of the standings, there are not as many blink decks as I would have thought. So, at the top of the standings, Goryo's being the de facto Riddler deck doing the best is maybe surprising to some people, but I mean, I love Goryo. Goryo is a very strong deck.
All right, thinking it through, pass him a turn. And now, No Ease Life getting into the stratosphere here. Boros is a powerful deck. It's a fundamentally fair deck. Does not deal 35 damage particularly easily.
And I think that we're getting close to the spot for Peter. If I'm Peter, my next turn is dictated by I'm going to top deck a card. If it's not the best card in my deck, I'm scooping. We got 28 minutes. You got to win 2 games. So you got to be a little conscious of it,
Thoughtseize. Flage goes to the graveyard. Actually, it may be an improvement.
Yeah, that actually was great for Peter. I mean, if that bombardment was in play, maybe we were actually cooking here, But now we get to Riddler and draw 2.
Oh, no, still casting stuff.
Wow, are we just going for hey, look at the top 10 cards, pick a bunch of them.
Is 2 mana draw 5 cards good or bad, or?
It is, but I don't even think it's needed right now. Instead, you play Riddler, you draw 2 cards instead of drawing 4, but you still have that ready to go just in case they top deck the other Thraben Charm. So I actually didn't like that.
I agree. I think having the insurance policy of Goyros in combat, very, very nice safety blanket to have, but 28 life still pretty good buffer.
It's super minor, of course, but, one thing is he better have got rid of the new one, because this one you need to ephemerate to keep alive.
And they are visually different. One has a Planeswalker symbol, one does not, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. There's another Goryo. Nothing matters.
Okay, we're good. Ending, Counterspell, Solitude. That's just all of it. That is every last piece.
I'll take one of these and one of these.
Sorcery, instant, creature.
I mean, we better have, picked the right Atraxa here, because that is one way we could actually lose this if we're especially not picking up Goryos here. But that was probably verbally communicated, hey, I'll get rid of the new one, I'm going to keep the old one.
Right. Okay. Mana ready to go. Interaction is up. Riddlers are hanging out. Peter's at a somewhat precarious 9 life here.
Yeah, but if we do draw a fetch land or a 1-drop that goes to the graveyard like a Galvanic Discharge, then we can, bring back this Flage. Nope, I lied with the Surveil anyways. You're going to be able to bring back Flage. But dealing 6 is, last time I checked, not 7.
Wait, 3 plus 3.
I triple-checked the math, Jim, so it does not equal 7. Trust me.
I think you did good.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
All right, bit of land. Draw. Looking for something big here. And you're right, that clock is starting to feel a little ominous.
Yeah.
This game has been in hand for a little bit here.
Still the game of the tournament so far to me. This was awesome.
If you're no E, are you pressuring Peter a little bit here? Are you saying, all right, Pete, we got to get going here?
Nope. Definitely his time to take here to a reasonable effect. If he starts playing slow play or starts playing slow, doesn't matter where I'm at in the game, I'll be like, all right, we do need to make a play. Mm-hmm. Not ever trying to be mean, but hey, it is what it is. Play slows down when you get in the feature match, when you have this record, when you can feel it, you're getting closer. It's just natural human nature.
Yeah, more so just saying, hey, Peter, just so you know, we have 25 minutes left. So maybe you aren't aware because you're like really tight in this game trying to figure out how to come back and win.
Yeah.
But, it's a factor that could matter for both players.
Yeah. Because, that's the thing is he's technically not dead right now because Flage is going to put him up to 13, but he's going to be dead in 2 turns.
All right, so Reno Glory looking for some glory here and the 9-0 possibility in round 9. Not Spotlight Series, Regional Championship. I got that Baltimore vibes in my chest already. Ooh.
Yeah, keep your spidey senses down for now,
my bad.
That's next week. That's going to be fun, though, too.
Yep, SGCon Houston. Here comes Flage. Eat that graveyard. Escaped once again. Busting the chains and getting out. And 3 damage to Atraxa.
Okay.
All right. How about no? Goodbye.
Now, I guess, we don't have any energy, but I was going to say Galvanic Discharge here could actually do some work. But now if Peter goes to attack, it's just like, sure, I'll take it. Whatever.
Yep. If there was a light total pressure here where Noe had to block in some way, maybe, trade up a little bit, whatever, throw away a creature, but 27 life's pretty nice.
And now, it should be, I guess there is an out. The other Solitude in Peter's deck to deal with the Atraxa here is a way to stop this bleeding, but if I'm Noe, I would recognize that's Peter's only out. Get these Riddlers out there. Present a lethal clock with both Riddlers if you can. That's where my head would be going. I'd play both of those Riddlers. I don't care if I have to tap out to do it. I'm not dying from 36 life, Just play 2 4/6s.
Even no blue card for force?
You might find one.
All right.
You got 2 looks at it.
Going to go for Smatic Ending on the Osla Pride. We are Cities Blessed here.
If Peter plays a Solitude right now, he's actually in an okay spot. So
no Solitude here. Game 1 goes to Noe. And somewhat, precarious 23 minutes left here. But now
still doing okay. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, pretty insane game. Pretty awesome draws there.
Yep.
The Riddler coming through. So for Peter, let's look at a sideboard here of 2 Celestial Purge, 1 Damping Sphere, 2 Orb Champ, 1 Showdown of the Skulls. Love that card. 2 Stunning Silence, 2 Surgical Extraction, 1 Vexing Bauble, 2 Wear Tear, 2 Wrath of the Skies.
All right, I love the Surgicals. That is just one way for 0 mana and 2 life, which is relatively throwaway life in a matchup like this, you not only counter a Goryo's Vengeance, which is huge, but you counter the work that was put in to get that creature to the graveyard, and you counter the future Atraxas or Gristlebrands from coming back. So Surgical is by far the best card against Goryos, and 2 is well above stock. 1, reasonable, you see it every once in a while, but 2 is outrageously good. That the best way possible. 2 Purges, pretty good. You got to deal with Frog as well. And that's all I really love from our Boros side.
All right, and then for Noe on top, we got 1 Celestial Purge, 3 Consign to Memory, 3 Mystical Dispute, 1 Nile Spellbomb, 1 Surgical, 2 Teferi, 1 Thoughtseize, and 3 Wrath of the Skies.
Bring in that Surgical to get your opponent's Surgicals just in... No, don't do that. But bring in those Wrath of the Skies. And me, personally, this is not what everyone does, but I bring in the Purge because I hate losing to Blood Moon so much that I aggressively search out the planes. And honestly, I play 3 Purges. That's how much I hate losing to Blood Moon. But, definitely bringing in Purge, definitely bringing in Wrath of the Skies. And that's probably it.
All right, sounds good. So... this is Regional Championship number 1 of this season, but we got number 2, as that would make sense. There's 2 of them. That's how we do things here. That's going to be happening in Vegas, SGCon Las Vegas, late November, the 21st to the 23rd. Going to be a really, really fun event. Also Modern. We're seeing a great Modern format here. We're going to see a great one there as well. And I'm always excited for the week-to-weeks and month-to-months when it comes to a format, seeing the evolution, seeing things kind of grow and go. So from here to there, going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see you there. And, of course, SGCon will have last chance qualifiers, so you players who are not qualified on Friday, and a ton of other fantastic events.
Here's one thought exercise I want all of y'all to do at home after day 1 of this regional championship. Think hey, what was the decks that really did well? What are the decks that maybe didn't do so well at this RC? We'll, of course, have a better picture at the end of tomorrow, but what do you think will be the metagame shifts going into that RC? I think that is a really, really nice skill to learn as a Magic player, someone who's trying to get better at picking the right deck and stuff like that. You know, it's a thought exercise you do all the time when you're testing for a Pro Tour, you're testing for, you know, Spotlight, those kind of things, right?
Yeah, one of the first things that we do as a team is we all kind of just say, okay, let's just have a talk and try and think about what the metagame is going to be for this event.
Yes.
You make your predictions, you know, and you can just do that at home. You can just take a piece of paper. All right, let's put some numbers down here to add up to 100. I think it's going to be 15% Eldrazi or 14% Nadu or whatever else it might be. Make those numbers add up to 100, have an other category also. Make a little sheet and then write it down, put it on your desk and watch the tournament, and then on Sunday evening say, how close was I?
Exactly, and that's the thing is you're a part of one of the best teams. You know, Team TCG, there's Team Handshake, there's a plethora of great teams, and that's the question I ask them the most at player meetings, like, what's your expected metagame? And at that point, I already know it. You know, of course, I never say anything, but I get their percentages, and I think, like, wow, they are that close. Like, Eli Cassis, I was talking to him, and he like just guessed the top 3 down to the percentages. Like he was off by maybe like one matchup by 2%. Or my brother, Brad Nelson, was one of the best at metagaming. So watching kind of the GOATs break that stuff down, and when a team like that gets it right, you know, their success at the tournament level is no accident. If they figure out exactly what they're going to play against and they build a deck for that expected metagame and they get it right, that's why they do well. Of course, great play on top of all that really helps, but it's a very, very nice skill to have here in Magic.
Yeah, people say, how do you pick your deck for a Pro Tour? It starts with that.
Yeah,
and you're right. Brad was one of the absolute best to ever do it. Brad was so good at that.
So good.
Just being 1 week ahead of the metagame, knowing where it was going to be and where he needed to be at his best at that event.
And that's what put me at, you know, like at the pro level is I got to leech off his information and then play whatever deck he played and get luckier than him. That was my whole career.
That's what I do at CFP.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
God, go us.
There we go. High five. Okay. All right. So no E's going to keep Peter going to go to the mulligan here. It's just a little tough to do here down a game, but Peter looking for the right cards. Definitely a matchup where those surgicals and some of these cards are much more important than others. Peter's deck mostly does the same thing every game.
Yeah.
So these, really important interactive cards, Raven Charm, Surgical Extraction, those are key.
Do you like to mulligan aggressively with a deck like Boros to those kind of things, or do you just keep the Oscillate Pride, a Johnny, Seasoned Pyromancer draw on the play?
I think it's very match dependent, but if it's in a spot where
this match
where you need the right kinds of interaction, whether I draw an Oscillate Pride and a Ragavan or an Ajani and a Guide of Souls, whatever, who cares? The important part is I can interact at the points that need to be interacted because the base plan of Esper is more powerful than what Boros is doing.
Yeah, it does go way over the top. And it's tough, though. Like, if I sit down with a hand of 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop removal spell that isn't Thraben Charm or Surgical and 3 lands, it's hard for me to mulligan that, but I could see that being an incorrect line, and maybe I should just mulligan more. Probably.
All right, so turn 1, Ragavan. That's a good place to start. I'm going to go no ease way and see there's an answer to the powerful little monkey.
Yep. And, I mean, there's a lot of them in the deck, but most of them have to come down at sorcery speed except for, like, a Solitude here. So looks like Ragavan's going to connect.
All right, crack that fetch.
You might just want to surveil, too, to try to prevent your opponent from getting something big, but wow. Okay.
All right.
Solitude at home.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that's an exile, not a discard. So Atraxa go into the exile zone forever.
Yeah.
But, Ragavan's gone. It's the important part. With Peter also down a card, Ragavan, as far as getting mana advantage and possible card advantage, very important. Stealing a Psychic Frog or something like that could be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, very cool.
All right, let's try it again.
But what about Ragavan Part 2 Electric Boogaloo?
That sounds great for Peter.
I mean, yeah, when your Ragavan just got 2 for 1 and you have another one, you're like, nice.
Yep.
I'm here for it.
All right, so Ragavan and a pass. Arena of Glory also a possible threat in those middle turns, giving haste. Going back no ease way. See Nick Miller down there on camera. Love to see that. Nick, for those who don't know, Nick does so much work behind the scenes at these events. I want to give him huge props. I buy him dinner basically every Sunday. I'm just like, dude, thanks, man. You are killing it back there. Unseen hero. You see him on the sideboard occasionally, but he is always working these events, 8 a.m. to the end of show.
And I'll say it right now. Anybody who mislabels their deck at one of these events, all you're doing is making Nick rename it. So if you ever think it's funny to have your Esper Goryo's deck be, Affinity or something, that's who you're affecting is the GOAT, Nick Miller. So let's not do that.
You're hurting one person, and it's not funny, so please take that extra second and make a little bit less work for Nick.
Yes.
All right, so It's Riddler time. This one a little less exciting. So we got a Warped on turn 2, no possible Ephemerate, no extra draws, just 2-mana draw card, save that for later. And it looks like Ragavan might have a clean shot here, barring a Solitude.
Finally, is Ragavan going to connect?
Survey says.
Bang. It's going to hit a Gristleband for sure.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that, Whammy. Try again. Do we have Ragavan number 3? That is the question.
I think there's only 3 in the deck, too, so that would be quite impressive.
Yep.
But hey, that's the type of card where you think like, oh, my hand has 3 of a legend, but I'm on the play in an interactive match. Like, I've kept 3 Ragavans before, because if they don't die, you're just getting such an advantage.
All right, so we see a tap land, and the follow-up is Goblin Bombardment, which is often a great piece of the puzzle, but on its lonesome, not looking so good.
Yep. So now we'll see. Ephemerate is great on your Atraxas. That's the number one thing, but ephemerating on a Riddler is still quite nice. And wow, I see Atraxa, I see Goryo's Vengeance in hand, and a Faithful Mending. So we're ready to go in 2 turns.
Yeah, and, stymieing this start here, the mulligan for Peter, the Ragavan's getting dealt with, and Guide of Souls is a great card. Kind of like Goblin Bombardment's a great card, but not on their lonesome.
It's a Squire right now.
Yep.
Okay, must not have been a Faithful Mending because we would have saw that at end step, but maybe a Frog here. But pretty solidly saw Goryo's Vengeance and Atraxa. So next turn, Frog's going to put those to the yard, and we're good to go. But if Peter's not playing proactively, what could he have? That's what would be going on in my brain. Surgical, Thraben Charm, pretty likely.
Yeah, there's a few cards that have been rotting in Peter's hand for a while, and most of the cards of his deck cost 3 or less. So,
and if he had fetch lands, he'd play them to Surveil Flage to the yard or other things, fix your top of your deck. So it could only be one thing. I haven't seen Peter's hand, but I would bet a lot of money that there is either a Thraben Charm or a Surgical or both.
And the problem, of course, is that long-legged Larry here, Psychic Frog, is ready to rock and roll and doesn't really need that much help.
I'm sorry, what did you call that frog?
Long-legged Larry.
Okay.
It was a frog at the pond.
Okay. Well, all right. Face-up Surgical there. Ready to get, I would assume that. Oh, yeah. Here's the nice thing is Frog interacts well here. Exile in response. You don't lose all your Atraxas or Gristlebrands.
All right. So Surgical will be a Coffin Purge, which is still good enough here. So goodbye, Atraxa. Bins exiles some cards to the Frog. The Frog has now jumped. It is now in the air.
Is a Coffin Purge something from the 90s as well, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in Modern right now. I think it was in some Modern Horizon set as a reprint. I think. I could be wrong.
Okay. Chat will correct you here.
Yeah. All right. Shockland. The Frog is in the air. Jumps so high, I might miss him while he's gone. And the Frog here looking much more impressive in these Guide of Souls.
You mean Larry?
Yeah, Larry the Frog.
Okay.
Long-legged Larry. Jumps so high, grew a beard in the air.
I've never heard that, but I'm definitely saying that from now on, so I'm here for it.
All right, I'll have to show you. That's a great song.
Okay.
It's also one of my son's favorites, so I've heard it 10,000 million times. All right, so 3 mana. Pyromancer time.
Okay, no cards in hand, so being able to draw 2, get 2 energy, cooking up to 3, so now these Squires are able to become much more.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to start somewhere, it's going to start there, right?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, so 2 fresh cards. And Peter looking to get back into this game. Broke up the plan A, but Frog is, of course, a very powerful plan B. Even if Noe just draws a land and casts a Riddler. Yeah. That's a pretty good place to be also.
I still think he has an Atraxa in hand. Maybe not Goryo's Vengeance number 2. That's probably what we're lacking, but I think Noe has that piece under control. And honestly, Noe's probably just plenty fine with, can I find land 5 and play Riddler? Never mind. Riddler is outclassed. Now we got ourselves a game. If that Ajani is not killed with this trigger on the stack, we're in a lot of trouble.
All right, so there's Ajani. Here comes the cat. Goblin Bombardment went from looking like it was nothing to looking like the best card on the table. Ajani can flip. Triggers everywhere, life everywhere, energy everywhere.
Now, with only 1 cat, you do have to be careful because you go to sack, the trigger from Ajani goes on the stack to flip, and then if Noe interacts, it's trouble. But if there's another cat, you just do it again. But
yeah, Noe has shown great patience so far.
Yeah.
Really good at setting traps. But now we see Peter also not taking the bait. Going to fire in here with both Guide of Souls, use a bunch of energy, make some angels. Now they're actually threatening. They're a clock. So 6 damage coming across.
Speaking of clock, remember that 5 minutes we probably should have saved? That 5 minutes is looking a lot more appealing if you're Peter about to win this game, right?
Uh-oh, vengeance time.
Oh, baby. And is this in combat? I mean, this Atraxa is going to go away, even if you find Ephemerate. So, like, this actually... I don't love this unless we were just going to die, which I think we probably were, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of damage between the Ajani and the bombardment triggers, so...
Yeah. So the one thing you got to remember is the bombardment...
Ooh, Wrath of the Skies.
The bombardment is going to prevent the gaining of 7 life. So no matter what, with this combat, Peter's going to deal 4 upstairs and have 1 guy to soul left. The cat's going to sacrifice, put Noe down to 8. Ajani flips, makes a cat, deals 3, down to 5, and then you have 3 creatures. So Noe is at an effective 2 here, but last time I checked, 2 is not 0.
Yep, and Wrath of the Skies can mop this board up pretty well.
It doesn't deal with the Planeswalker, though, but the Frog does. There's going to be a Planeswalker.
All right, so we see that land is is that a Godless Shrine?
Looks like a strip mine to me, but that's probably not right.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Celestial Purge, Wrath of the Skies, that's a Riddler there also.
Probably
so,
a Marsh Flats.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Looks marsh flatty.
It does, yeah. It's very plains and dark, you know?
Yep. All right, so now we're going to blocks. 1 guy to souls is being blocked. Like Corey said, you can sack before damage, no lifelink. Is that what we're going to do?
Trying to get froggy with that. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe we're thinking to sack the cat first to gain some more life or something, but it's not going to be... Oh, no. Did we just gain life? No, we just gained life there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. We're working it through here. Tense moment. Feature match area. The lights are bright. It's a long day. The clock's ticking. A lot of pressure. You know, it's one of those spots where, like, until you've played in a match like this, it's really, really hard to know what it feels like.
100%.
It does, kind of like you were saying earlier, it does feel like you play a match like this, and then you leave the match, and you're kind of like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You know, you almost like you're so in the moment, and you're so, you know, it's tough.
It is tough. I mean, I had 2 in my career. I've had 2 chances to make it to a Pro Tour top 8, play a win and in, and, you know, tiebreakers had to break my way, but I had a chance at it. I punted both of those matches. They're not sticking with me or anything, though. Like, I'm totally over it. Jim, I'm over it.
I know.
Why are we killing this Atraxa, though? It's going to die at end step. Right?
All right.
Unless I'm missing something.
Oh, yeah, I think that all seems true to me. So, perhaps a bit of misstep here, but we see a Johnny, we see a cat, bombardment. Unfortunately, 17 life is a lot, and Noe has a lot of resources available.
Yeah.
And this Wrath of the Skies. So, Froggy can go hop.
And I mean, at this point, the math that I did, that was a 14-point life total swing with Atraxa connecting and going to kill the Atraxa. So instead of being at 3, we're at 17.
Yep. So Froggy jumps, takes out the Planeswalker, and now Wrath of the Skies can mop things up. It will kill the Frog also, but when you have 2 Riddlers in the warp zone and 17 life, I don't think you care that much. So no easy to say, look at me. I am the energy deck now.
Yes. Yeah, now that looks pretty good. Or you just, like you were saying, Wrath of the Skies and just Wrath, start the game over. You know, you do run some kind of foul there of if let's say, Peter were to find a Surveil land, put Flage into the yard, and then you Arena of Glory it back. I mean, that's big game. But that's pretty lucky.
Haven't seen any luck today, so
yeah,
got to play for it. You know, good players look like they're lucky for a reason because they find good spots to get into. So basic planes off this Marsh Flats, we can only assume.
Yep.
And then
there's good players like you that just are lucky.
Better lucky than good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, Riddler number 3, coming in off of Warp. I feel like with no Wrath of the Skies being cast, might have an Ephemerate all rolled up here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that does look pretty good to me.
Yeah, that looks solid.
Draw another one.
And I think Peter, you can kind of see on his face, he recognized it now. You know, like this isn't a spot where Peter didn't see his mistake. It is now the spot where now as a player that makes a mistake, you got to be like, okay, don't let that affect the rest of the game. Make tight plays from here on out and see if it can happen.
Right. You're now in a new position in a new game.
Yeah.
Your goal is to make the best play. And Peter's going to pass the turn here. And it's looking pretty good for No E to be one of our undefeated players. Here's a Solitude on the end step. Doesn't necessarily need to be on the end step, but fire it in.
And I got to say, No E...
Ephemerate, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. And I got to say, No E just played this game and this match masterfully.
Yeah, really, really adept at setting traps, finding the right spots. Really impressive play. Not surprised to see No E most likely moving to 9-0 here. And
don't get me wrong, that turn, he was probably 4% to win or whatever. But even with just Goryos off the top there, it would have been good enough. He just, made it really intense for us and it went through the ringer with the Riddlers first. But so got a little lucky, but played tight to get there and then played really tight to close it out.
Yep. So I see Froggy getting in here, Riddler getting in. Peter's at 27. That does not tell the whole story because the board is heavily slanted in No E's favor. Draw a card off the Frog. Solitude's still in play. Wrath of the Sky is still in hand. Multiple Riddlers still available. And a lonely cat standing like Captain America against Thanos' army. And there might not be any portals here to save the day.
I think someone's about to snap their fingers, that's for sure.
Yep. All right, it's end step shuffle. We get a little surveil here.
It's got to be a Flage to have any chance.
Yep. All right, so here's the shuffle.
A Flage here, though, I mean, hey, you kill a Riddler, you attack, you gain a big chunk of life. It could happen.
All right, so going to look at it. It's hard to imagine many cards would stay on top here. So Peter might be looking at last draw step of day number 1. Or perhaps a little miracle.
And no matter what, if Peter could have locked it in to say, hey, yeah, maybe I made some mistakes, but I still ended 8-1, he'd be like, yeah, heck yeah. Any player in this field, I don't care if you're Jesse Hampton, Kai Buddha, Peter Handy, whatever, you're locking in an 8-1 record at a tournament like this.
It's also, honestly, it does feel bad not to be 9-0.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a mistake, have it be the last match of the day.
100%.
Peter can go home, get a good dinner, put a long day, put a good match, reset, have a good sleep, and then get back tomorrow and do some damage.
The worst thing he can do is let this bleed over into the next day. Right. Don't get sleep because of it, don't let it go. Those are the worst things Peter can do. And the best thing he can do is recognize, hey, I'm in 3rd place or whatever at the RC. Let's keep that going.
Yeah, it's really easy to have it bleed into your next match. But your next match is not for 14 hours, not too shabby.
My PT top 8 punts have bled into the next decade. So what am I talking as far as giving advice here,
I wasn't going to bring it up. But
I laid in the grass outside of the Austin Convention Center and just looked at the sky for a while after I didn't Thoughtseize my opponent, who had 6 lands and Escape Shift in hand, and then drew a 7th land, Jim.
It's pretty specific.
Yeah. I only know his name, what shirt I was wearing, and that kind of stuff. But other than that, I've completely forgot about it.
But thankfully, Corey, you're off the tour and here with me.
Yes, absolutely. I'm happy to be washed.
All right, so Riddler comes in, Frog comes in. That Frog is getting huge, as Frog is usually wont to do. Wrath of the Skies, I feel like Peter wants to borrow that Wrath of the Skies at the moment. Frog draws a card. Got 5 cards in hand, 2 cards in the Warp Zone. And looking great for No E to close this game out and be one of our undefeated players. Breeding Pool comes in untapped. Uh-oh.
Looks like the only way this is ending in not a win for No E is that clock. It is getting low, but I think even if we were in turns right now, it should be A-okay. But No E does have to recognize, hey, I need to make sure I can close this game out in, 3 more turns, which another Riddler should make it trivial because he'll be turn 1 almost assuredly at the worst.
Yeah, I'm not too shabby either way, right? So no, even if this game is a draw, we'll take the match 1-0-1, which is always an interesting way to finish a match, but that can work as well. So.
Oh yeah, good point.
Riddler comes in, Cat Warriors, Cap's shield is broken.
I just assume this is game 3 because it's been so long, but
I feel that. All right, so Bombardment coming down, and that's going to do it.
I like that Riddler. Let's keep that right here.
Oh, Martian too. I love that.
Put that Riddler back because that was the winner of the match, and we'll leave that here for the outro. That's nice.
So No E, great stuff. We're going back in. We ain't done yet. Sack that cat. There's the handshake. No E, undefeated. Really a clinical game.
Yeah.
That was expertly played. I love the elation. You can take a second when you're done with day 1. You can go, okay, I don't got a match to play.